All right, YouTube, I'm about to put my own money where my mouth is. If any guest of the Theories of Everything podcast with Curt Jaimungal can beat what I call Dennett's demon. So, got $1,000 here, and that will go to any guest who can beat Dennett's demon. And I get Dennett's demon from Daniel Dennett's own book, Darwin's Dangerous Idea. So Daniel Dennett is a Darwinian philosopher. He is one of the most famous materialists and proponents of Darwinism, and not just Darwinism in a general sense, but Darwinism in a very specific sense, what you could call neo-Darwinian theory, which is the idea that natural selection acting on random mutation is sufficient in and of itself to produce all of the stunning biological complexity that we see. So I like to say that it's capable of turning dust into Steve Jobs unveiling the iPhone, or that's the claim. And so if you go to Darwin's Dangerous Idea, you will find in chapter 2, specifically page 52 to 54, a formalization of Dennett's argument that the neo-Darwinian mechanism is capable of accounting for all of the complexity of life. And so it basically has two assumptions. One is that natural selection acting on random mutation is a classical algorithm, and that given enough input into that algorithm, any output is possible and indeed guaranteed. And so the way he formalizes this is in a simple single elimination bracketed tournament. And so the idea is if you had, you wanted to get one mutation, all you would have to have is two organisms enter, fight each other in the game of life, and the winner would pass on, and that would be one mutation. So if you wanted two mutations, you would simply need 4 entrants, and if you wanted 3, 8. So what you're doing is you're taking the number of mutations you think is necessary to turn dust into Steve Jobs, and you're raising 2 to that number. Okay, so if you think there are 100 mutations that separate dust from Steve Jobs, it would be 2 to the 100th power. If you think it's 1,000, it would be 2 to the 1,000th power. I think you're already seeing the problem with this, and this is Dennett's own words. This is Dennett's own example. This is Dennett's own formalization of the problem in his own book. Okay. The problem is obviously that millions, billions, probably trillions of mutational events needed to happen to separate, to raise dust into Steve Jobs unveiling the iPhone. And I will share my screen here to show you the problem with this. So this is the online big number calculator. And so up here, this is 2 raised to the power of 1 million. Okay, so that's 1 million mutational events. And that is an extremely low number. There's definitely more than a million, specific things that had to happen to turn dust into Steve Jobs. But at 1 million, this is the number that we get. Bear with me. I think you're beginning to see the problem here. You get a number with over 300,000 numbers in it, 300,000 digits. The number of atoms estimated to be in the perceivable universe is about a number with about 81 digits after it. And so this is Dennett's own formulation, and you can see how badly it fails at what is an extremely low number of mutations. So Somebody show me where I'm wrong there. A guest of the Theories of Everything podcast, and I'm limiting it to that because I don't want to deal with the trolls. Or show me a mathematical formalization that works, that adheres to Dennett's own assertion that natural selection and acting on random mutation is sufficient in and of itself. And if you can't, then we've really got something here. Then everybody who's arguing for the creative powers of evolution needs to step back, and they need to admit that their own theory is not proven. When we talk about evolution, and a science popularizer like Neil deGrasse Tyson, imagine he's on Joe Rogan's podcast and Joe Rogan asks him, is it true that evolution is proven beyond a doubt? He would launch, oh, of course, evolution is as proven as any theory and so elegant and blah, blah, blah. He's engaging there in a conflation of terms. Evolution, when it's meant, does evolution happen? Yes, that's been proven beyond any reasonable doubt. What hasn't been proven is how evolution happens. And the only mathematical formalization I've ever seen of that problem is in Dennett's Darwin's Dangerous Idea. And it's a very straightforward argument. And the math, even for a non-mathematician like myself, is straightforward and you can do it. And it leads to absurdly large numbers that the Earth just simply could never have generated. So again, this is serious. I have $1,000 for any guest of the Theories of Everything podcast that can use Dennett's own math to prove me wrong, or can offer a replacement for Dennett's own math. And if at this very late date, nobody can do that, then the entire community needs to step back and see what's missing. I will call this Dennett's demon. What's missing, I will call Richard Dawkins' homework. Nobody's made the mathematical formulation of this problem in a way that's doable. And if that is missing, and if it continues to go missing, then people need to stop using the cudgel of neo-Darwinian evolution to beat back arguments for intelligence as a primary condition of the universe, as a first condition. We can accept that determinism is a first condition of the universe, that perhaps randomness in some sense is a pre-existing condition. We should then make room for intelligence as a pre-existing condition.